What's up, all you beautiful people? Welcome to another video. So recently the world lost a pretty cool dude. His name was Scott Adams, who you might know better as like the cartoonist behind the Dilbert strip. But he wrote a number of books, and one of those books, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, had a really profound effect on my life because it changed how I think about goal setting. Because he has this line in there that says, "Goals are for losers, systems are for winners." And it's such a simple idea, but it was very profound for me at that time. And it really changed how I approached the process of accomplishing my goals. Instead of focusing on the target that I'm moving towards, I focus much more on the inputs and machine that makes the accomplishment of those goals inevitable. And so what I want to share with you guys today are just 3 simple systems that you need in your life if you want to maximize your probability of success. And for me personally, these have had a tremendous effect, and they've, in a large part, have what it enabled me to build and exit multiple successful businesses and to write a bunch of best-selling books. So the first system that I want to share with you is the system for winning the day. So what's this mean? Well, a great life is nothing more than the sequence of great days. If you can win every single day, then on a long enough time frame, it becomes inevitable that you look up and you've accomplished some pretty damn cool things, right? So like the day is the most important unit of time that we operate within. And one of the things that has helped me win the day is to actually articulate from the beginning, what does it look like to win the day? So like to define what are the rules, what is the playbook that I'm playing by here today. And so one of the systems that I use is something called box management. This is based off of an idea I stole from Seinfeld a number of years ago. I heard him talk about how if you want to be like a comedian, if you want to be a professional joke teller, his system for that was just to sit down every single day and tell a joke, like write a new joke, and then on your calendar, cross out that day with a big red X. Cool. Now that you've done that, your only goal is to never break the chain of red X's, right? It's very simple. Just show up and write down your big red X. Well, I took that idea a little bit further because for me, there was more than one thing that I wanted to do in a day that would define whether or not I won it, right? It's not just, did I do this one thing? It was like, did I work out? Did I eat healthy? Did I make my outreaches? Did I do my cold calls? Did I work on the offer? Did I sit down with the team, right? Like there's all these different things that you probably are trying to dial in. And so I created this more elaborate system called box management. And it's very simple. The way it works is you can actually track up to 6 daily inputs that correlate to your desired output. So let's say you want to, eat your body weight in protein every day. You want to walk 6,000 steps. You want to write 2,000 words, right? Like you have 6 of these things that you're tracking over a period of time. So my system for this is each one of those activities is correlated to a part on the box. Like the left line of the box is I write 2,000 words. So every day that you sit down and you write 2,000 words, you get to put that left line on the box. Every day that you show up, let's say, and you do your 10 outreaches, that's maybe the bottom of the box, right? And so you fill in all these different sides of the box plus 2 X's in the middle. It allows you to track 6 different things. And one of the cool things is over time, as you look at this on the span of a week or a month, you can see where you were struggling, where you started to fall off of your system, your patterns, because it's very visual. You're like, oh, every week I seem to miss this one line on the right-hand side. Cool. Maybe next week, recalibrate, start to focus on what can I do in my day to maximize the likelihood that I'm actually going to show up and do that right side of the box, so that you can start to create what I call perfect days, right? A perfect day is like a perfectly formed box with 2 X's in the middle. Like that's pretty awesome. And if you do those 6 things every single day, like on a long enough time frame, it becomes pretty unlikely that you're not going to be successful. So that's the first system for defining, being clear. How do I win the day? These are my 6 inputs. This is how I track it on the calendar. Box management. And I did another video on that specific concept, much more in depth. We'll link that somewhere on the video here, so you can go watch that when we're done. All right, so after you've defined what it means to win the day, the next thing that we need to do is we need to guide the day, right? It's like, it's not just enough to say, this is what I'm going to do to win the day. Now we need to make sure that we're actually doing the things throughout the day that give us the likelihood of actually being successful. So this is where time blocking comes into play. This is where you sit down with your actual calendar and you put the things that are in your box management box onto the calendar, and you say, okay, from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., that's when I'm going to do my protein. I'm going to, I don't know, maybe eat 180 grams of your protein in that 1 hour. I don't know. Maybe it's from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. You're going to sit down and you're going to write your 2,000 words, right? So it's not enough just to say, here's my desires for the day. Here's what it means to win the day. You actually need to map it onto the day. And that's where time blocking comes in. So here's a couple of rules that will help you on this journey, that have helped me tremendously, is that for the most part, it's very valuable to delineate your calendar based off of maker time or manager time. This is a concept that Y Combinator founder Paul Graham wrote about in an essay a number of years ago. Maker time is the time that you sit down and you're going to be creatively expressing yourself. This is the time where you're making something new into the world. As a founder, that's probably going to be like, maybe you're making content, maybe you're working on the product, right? It's the deep creative work that only you are going to be able to do. It's best to put this into the morning and make the very first thing that you do, because it tends to be the highest ROI and the most difficult work that you do. So it's best to do it to fight that dragon before the day drags on too far, before you get too tired, right? So make your maker time in the morning, and then your manager time, any meetings, any admin, any team stuff that you have to do, make that into the afternoon, because that tends to be, for a lot of us, the more, not soul sucking work, but the easier work in a sense. Like, it doesn't require you to express your creative genius in the same way. So you have your maker time in the morning, you have your manager time in the afternoon. One final rule when it comes to time blocking is just to build in a lot of buffer, like way more buffer. Do not like, I've made this mistake. If you've ever tried time blocking, you've probably made the same mistake, is that you packed everything back to back to back to back. And then as soon as one thing gets a little bit delayed, it sends the whole calendar cascading, and you like never get the day back. And then you just feel like a loser at the end, because you look and you're like, well, my whole thing just went to crap like right away, because I missed one meeting, and like now I'm 15 minutes behind. So make sure that you leave yourself plenty of buffer. Don't overestimate how much you can actually get done in a day. I think it was Bill Gates said something to the effect of like, we overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Well, like, extrapolate that to the unit of time of a day. And it's like, yeah, you tend to overestimate what you can get done in a day. So like, less is better. Remember, for that box management system that I shared with you guys before, we're tracking 6 activities, like 6. That's not 20. That's 6 things. If you can get those things done in a day, it's going to be a pretty good day. So like, less is definitely more when it comes to guiding your day with the time blocking activity. Now, the third system that you need is a system for protecting your day. So we know what it means to win the day. We know what it means to guide the day. Now we need to protect that. We need to actually make sure that we're sitting down and doing that work. And for this, it all comes down to environment control. Like, environment is destiny. If you show me the environment that you work in, if you show me the environment that you try to do your creative work in, or the environment that you try to sit down and educate yourself in, like, it doesn't matter. Like, whatever you're trying to do, if you show me the environment that you're doing it in, I have a pretty good sense of how successful you are at that thing. So if you're trying to do work, like your big creative work in a living room with a TV playing and like kids screaming, like, you're probably not going to be doing very good work, right? So if we want to protect the day, we need to design our environments with intention and with care, so that when we sit down to do that thing, we have the maximal likelihood of being successful. So here's a couple things to think about when it comes to environment design: is your audio, your visual, and your vibe. So when you sit down to do deep work, let's say you were sitting down to do your writing or work on a script for a YouTube video, make sure that you don't have any auditory distractions. Just a minute ago, we were recording. My cat's outside the door. He's meowing. That's a distraction. So what do? Well, I get up, I take him, and poor little Sparta's now locked in the bathroom on the other side of the facility. So like, make sure that you're mitigating distractions. Auditory distractions are a big one for me, so I use noise canceling headphones usually. But if I can't do that in this context like this, then I just got to remove the distraction. Second is visual. So maybe you are the type of person that likes to stare out windows. My setup here on my desk is my computer is actually set up directly in front of the window. So I can't even see the window when I'm sitting at it. Like, I do not want to encourage myself to stare off the window and be distracted. That's one example. There's all sorts of examples of visual distractions, though, like visual clutter, having things that are out and about and that make you want to go, oh, maybe I should go clean that up right now. Like, I've never wanted to clean my office more than when it's time to sit down and do like deep, meaningful work. So just getting ahead of that and knowing that that's going to be one of the things that's potentially tripping you up, and cleaning that stuff first so that you're not visually distracted by it later when you're in the flow, that's worth its weight in gold. The last thing is just to optimize for vibe. One of the things you'll notice about my office is I got a really big bookshelf back here, like tons of books. Because for me, When I'm surrounded by books, I'm inspired. It makes me feel good. It makes me want to do deep work, because when I look up those books, I think about all the amazing people that have sat down and actually written a book. I think about how hard that must have been. And so I'm in the presence of greatness. For me, that's my vibe. That gets me psyched. Maybe that doesn't work for you. Like, you figure out what is your vibe. Maybe that's a coffee shop. Maybe it's a closet. Like, I don't know. But you want to make sure that your environment is tuned to your particular frequency of energy. And if you do that, if you do those three things, if you have a system for winning the day, a system for guiding the day, and a system for protecting the day, you're going to fucking win the day, man. I'm just telling you, like, that is the unit of time upon which a great life is built, a successful life is built. So go take these three systems, go implement them into your life. I'll see you guys in the next video.